In this video, I will share a simple 5-step approach to make every forged part repeatable, lot after lot, shift after shift. I am Rahul Agarwal, Managing Director at Precitech Forgings and Engineering Private Limited. If you manage sourcing or quality, this will help you reduce surprises, protect your line, and sleep better at night. Why does this matter? Because your customer remembers the worst lot, not the best one. One bad batch can mean sorting, air freight, line stoppage, and tough calls with your leadership. You may have drawings, PPAP, and a contract, but you carry the risk if the supplier's process drips. Forging is powerful, but it is also sensitive. Small changes in temperature or die condition or heat treatment can change everything. Repeatability is not luck, it is designed, it is discipline. Where does inconsistency really comes from? If the input still varies slightly in chemistry and cleanliness, billet length or cut face affects how metal flows. Die, die loss life, preheating is missed. Our lubrication mix changes with every shift. Induction heating looks red hot, but actual temperature can be 30 to 50 degrees off if not measured correctly. Press parameters drift. First of approvals become routine signatures. In heat treatment, load size, quench temperature, and placement change the microstructure, even when the recipe is the same. A typical response is inspect more, but here is the hard truth. You can sort dimensions, you cannot sort microstructure. Inspection will not save you if the grain flow or hardness is wrong. We have seen good looking parts fail later because the process made them weak inside. The myth: a clean PPAP and a nice CMM report guarantee repeatability. The truth: they are only snapshots. Repeatability comes from controlling energy and inputs every day. In forging, 80% of defects are decided before the first hammer or press stroke. During material preparation, die readiness, and the temperature control. Another uncomfortable truth: when you outsource forgings, you are not only buying parts, you are also purchasing the supplier's habit. Habits around measuring heat, preparing the dies, and reacting to small shifts. The die is not the hero, the routine is the real hero. Here is a practical 5-step repeatability loop you can ask your supplier to follow and you can audit. Step 1: log the input. Verify steel chemistry by heat number. Keep traceability very tight. Control billet length and taste quality. Deburr and clean. Preheat billets with a calibrated pyrometer. Do not judge by color. Use FIFO by heat. Avoid mixing heats within a load. Step 2: stabilize the energy. Preheat dies to the specified temperature. Record it every setup. Standardize lubrication mix and the application. Label and date the mix. Use a heating recipe with soak time. Check temperature at the core, not just on the surface. Step 3: control the forming. Fix the press parameters, stroke, speed, and tonnage window. Align dies and check clamping torque. Change dies before the end of life and not after. Approve the first part jointly, production and the quality. Hold until both signs. Step 4. Fix the after effects. Log the heat treatment cycle and load density. Monitor quench media temperature. Check hardness and case or core as required. Confirm microstructure by every heat. Straightening and trimming should follow a defined window, not operator's memory. Step 5. Make learning unavoidable. Measure 3 to 5 critical dimensions every hour. Plot a simple control chart. Run short daily audit on die preheat, heater readings and first off approvals. If a point goes out of the agreed band, stop and correct. Then record cause and the action. Share a one-page lot report. What was made, what was measured and what was learned. I'll tell you a story. A farm equipment program had a recurring issue. A pivot pin sometimes showed fine cracks after assembly. Dimensions were okay. The root cause was mixed heat treatment behavior, different load sizes and quench temperature drifting. We applied the 5 steps, logged the billet preparation, standardized the die preheat, set a temperature window with real measurements, fixed the load density and added hourly checks on a few critical points. The result? Stable hardness and no cracks across multiple quarters. The key was not a new machine, it was repeatable habits measured daily. The big idea is that repeatability is a process choice, not a post-inspection choice. You will control outcomes if you control input, energy, forming, after effects and learning. Move your supplier conversations from show me the report to show me how you make the same decision every time. Ask yourself in your current forging supply chain, which one of the 5 steps is the weakest today and what evidence do you have? I would love to hear from you. What is one silent risk you have faced in forged parts and how did you catch it? Share your experience so others can also learn. Thank you. See you in my next video.